Hey guys, it's Ashley, Scrapping Nerd, and today I'm doing something a little different. I'm kind of doing a kit share. So I'm going to start this series that I'm calling Vintage to Modern. And the reason is I have all these vintage style things like papers and embellishments. I love the vintage aesthetic, but it seems that when I go to Scrapbook, I don't use that. And I'm a theme scrapbooker, so if it's, Christmas, I use Christmas layouts or embellishments and papers, and summer, so the idea of this series is to take all these vintage papers that I love so much and maybe use them in a summer layout, because why can't you? And I feel like this is going to force me to think outside of the box, to do other types of layouts that I normally do, and to not so much work within a theme and just put vintage style things together to create a layout. And I'm calling it a modern layout, but it's just tends to be like, vintage papers with the summer theme, or with my dogs, or why can't you have a wedding with a vintage theme, or a baby shower with kind of a vintage aesthetic. So that's the idea for this series. And I created kind of a kit because, like I said, I'm a theme scrapbooker, so everything in my room is separated by theme. So I have school, I have Christmas, I have Disney, and within those themes I have some items that I've picked that have this kind of vintage, so this kind of browns and blacks and floral, like vintage floral type themes to them. And when I go and I make my pages, I don't tend to use these vintage items that I love so much, which is very strange because I love the vintage aesthetic. So I created kind of a kit. I went through everything and pulled out a lot of things that I thought could go with it. And I'm starting with these paper pads. And I've had this is a Recollections paper pad that I have had forever. And I don't see a date on it. But I mean, I've had it forever. And I just love all of these papers. See, they're just kind of this idea of vintage type look to them. They're not very bright. They have kind of these vintage, what are those called? Icons. And I just love it, but I just never grabbed for it. And I have taken apart all of my paper pads and mixed them in with my paper stacks in hopes to try to use those papers. But I didn't take apart this one because I have a vintage spot for my paper, and I basically would just be putting this whole paper pad in there. And so I've decided that this is going to be the paper for my kit. Now it is the paper pad, so it's a little bit thin, so I'll pull in probably some blacks and some solid colors to go along with the paper. But I'm hoping to just try to get this at least a dent in it. And I loved it so much that I bought the 6x6 paper pad as well. And I don't believe I bought them at the same time. I think I bought this one because I loved it, and then this then became on clearance or something, and I bought this. But again, this has been forever. And it has this kind of teal color and this pink color in here. So I did add some of that to my kit items. And so I'm just going to kind of show you some things. I'm not going to show you everything because, like I said, it's a mishmash. But I did go in the paper pad, and I did do all of the papers that had the cut aparts. I did cut them apart, so I have that already set to go as kind of some tags in there. I went through and cut out some icons that when I go to use them, I will, fussy cut them better. But I just kind of cut them out because I also love embellishments, and so a problem with the paper pads is I don't have embellishments that go because I'm a more is more type person, and so I don't tend to jump to use my paper pads because I don't have the matching embellishments. So I was trying to create this kit, which I've never done a kit, but I've seen all you guys do like kit shares and stuff, and I like the idea of not going in my stash, because once I start going in my stash, I get lost and I look at everything and then it just takes me 10 hours. So the idea is that I have next to my table here this sort of kit, and I call it sort of because I really did just grab from everything in hopes to get things used up. To grab for that and not even think about the theme. Try to only do the things that I like. And so those are the items that I got from the paper pad. And then I just want to show you this. This is my mishmash of things that I'm like, why can't I use it mixed in? And there's some theme, like here's some Christmas kind of vintage aesthetic with the Christmas, and then here's a couple Halloween items. But, you know, I go and I make these Halloween layouts, but I haven't made them vintage, so then these things don't get used up. And so that's the idea. I did throw in some pumpkins here. Here's some watering cans. Who knows how long I've had those. That, you know, it could match this vintage kind of idea. So I went through, here's some houses that I haven't ever used, but, you know, maybe I could fit them in there. And so that's kind of the idea with this here, is just all of the mishmash. I mixed up my themes so that I have to actually go through and look at it and see if I can use it. And then I have a bunch of other type things just that I've had laying around. Some words. This is 49 in Market. Let's see, Vintage Artistry Serenity. And then I have this one here that is the Meadow. And then this is like probably from the dollar store a million years ago. It doesn't seem vintage, but I'm like, this could maybe go with some of the papers that I had. Stuff like that. I have, look at these little tags that I have that were Christmas vintage tag here. So I thought, oh, okay, that could work for something. I have a bunch of these, like, I think these are Tim Holtz like cards, and they're these black and whites, so I pulled that out. And I keep showing you Christmas things, but that's not all that I've pulled out. Just these cards that I have that, you know, I just don't reach for them. And so I put that in my kit. I have these film strips here from 49 in Market. I have a couple of these Minte paper cut-aparts that I got when we had a scrapbook store that opened. Finally, I have a scrapbook store in my city. Makes me so happy. And during their opening week, they were giving away these kind of free little cut-aparts here. And so I have those that I can fussy cut. I have some words here, some thickers that are some baby adventures, those kind of things that maybe I could put with vintage paper. Here's these stickers here. Who knows why I have these? Maybe they were on sale, but you know, these kind of things that things I just don't reach for, and I want to try to get rid of them this year. I want to move, because I haven't scrapbooked these vintage type aesthetic, even though I love it in, you know, my home decor and everything. Maybe it's not my scrapbook style, and I've just hoarded them because I think they're pretty, but I never use them. And so that's what I'm hoping this series will do for me. I have these paper dolls, which I loved, and I got this because I love this wedding one, and so I have plans to do kind of a wedding junk journal with all of the planning crap that I have for my wedding, and I thought it'd be fun to put these in here. And so I haven't done that yet, but then I have all of these other paper dolls from Tim Holtz that are, you know, this black and white. So I'm hoping I can get some of those used up. Here's a Vintage Artistry Noel ephemera that I have over here. I have some wood veneer snowflakes that I'm hoping to go in there. And then I also put a bunch of washi tape over here because, again, I have these washies and I don't reach for washi. And so why I get washi, I don't know. And that's something, you know, this year I'm trying to get rid of the old because now that I do have this scrapbook store in town, I'm starting to like some of these other brands. I didn't know about Craft O'Clock before. You know, I'm loving the Mente papers. I'm actually getting into Simple Stories. And so it's kind of opening my realm into these different brands. And so I'm trying not to buy anything until I use up what I have. And that's probably, I could do that for like 10 years. But if I could just do it, you know, this year, I'm going to have some cheat days because, let's be honest, I love to go into the scrapbook store and I'll always find something that I like in there. But the overall idea is to get these things used up that I'm just haven't been using. Here's some little globes that I have. Here's some more just words, and you know, in this gold, I thought gold would go really well with the paper. And then I have like this Scrapaholics wood veneers that I want to get used up. Maybe some dinosaurs, who knows, right? I had my friend's son had a Jurassic Park themed birthday, so I did that layout, and which is what I bought these for. And then now I have all these dinosaurs, so who knows, maybe I can just do a fun layout with the dinosaurs. I have this 100% Girl sticker pack, and I threw this in here because of that pink and teal color in the paper. So these aren't necessarily vintage, but I might be able to squeeze out something with those colors from the papers. And so that's the idea. Here's some leaf die cuts. They're like clear from the Vintage Artistry, what is that? In the Leaves foliage, you know, and I bought this and I haven't used it yet. So that's the idea. That's kind of the kit. I'll do my videos for this series, and I won't show you all of this again. I'll just show you like the papers I picked and the items that I picked. But the idea is that it's coming from this kit, and I'm not going in my stash. I'm gonna try to stick to using all of this, and it's such a big kit that it's probably at least a 6-month kit, and then we can review and see if I even put a dent in it, or if I really just need to move from these vintage papers than things that I love so much but I never seem to reach for. So that's the idea. Thank you to everyone that's liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. It's been so much fun doing these videos, and I just hope to continue. I would love to join in on more of the Scrappy challenges because those are fun. And I've just been having a really good time. So thank you to everyone that's watched my videos and subscribed to them. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit those buttons below. You can see what I can do with these things. I would love to see anybody that wants to join in a vintage to modern. Maybe you're in the same boat that I'm in and you have all these kind of vintage type embellishments and paper, but you only think you can use them for like heritage albums or old photos. So it'd be fun to see anyone that wants to join in and make these kind of modern, right, type ideas from the vintage papers. So again, thank you to everyone, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye!